You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yo, people, how are you doing? How you doing? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I do hope you're doing well. I do hope that. Match preview, Chelsea are playing Leicester City in a big Premier League game on the return of the club football. That's right! It's over! International football. We can take a deep breath and move into some exciting Chelsea-related action. We got a good run, actually. We got a good run coming up. Well, touch wood. That's what Cole Palmer does, doesn't it? It's funny at the GQ Awards. You may have seen that. What top boy he is. Yeah, we've got a more favourable run of fixtures coming up. And hopefully we can get some points on the board, mate. But we are playing Leicester City away from home. Of course, the former club of current Chelsea gaffer, Enzo Maresca. And look, he's done this pre-match press conference and he said some interesting stuff, of which I've wrote down on a pad and I'm going to speak about in today's video. Also, if you haven't seen, I think I'm going to upload this later on Thursday. There was a video this morning and I react to what's going on with Jadon Sancho, as well as speaking a little bit about the incessant Spanish reports about Enzo Fernandez to Real Madrid. They seem to keep percolating around, certainly Spanish media. So I reacted to that. I did a little bit of Jan in the Wild as well in this morning's video, so do go check that out if you want to see my reaction to those news stories. And yeah, it's a good video, I think. So go check that out. In the meantime, we're going to get into it here. So thank you for joining me. If you do want to support the content, as always, you are most welcome to. You can do so simply just by liking and subscribing, mate. It's super simple. Become one of the gang. Subscribe. Right then, before we build a lineup and talk about the Leicester game in isolation, we are going to reference some points that the gaffer has said in his pre-match press conference. First of all, on injuries, there are players, of course, that have been out on international break and need to be assessed appropriately to see if they could feature in the squad for this weekend's game. The only player that Maresca said is definitely out is Captain Reece James. Shock. To be honest, it's a small hamstring complaint, so saith reports. So we're hoping it's a short. He sort of referenced short term. I kind of get it, to be honest, bro. It's like you got to be. Maybe in recent seasons past, we'd play him through these like slight twinges, and that's what caused an issue. You know, I think it was Nizar Kinsella now of the BBC that asked the question, like, are we going to see this guy be in the team for, like, extended periods of time, like 7 months, without these just constant niggling injuries that withdraw him? And Maresca says, yes, I hope so. Not right now, but we want to see that. And I guess this withdrawal of Reece James is part of that. Do you know what I mean? Excuse me, that's saying, like, this is us being careful with him to ensure that time will come where he essentially becomes the player that you can rely on. Just going to answer my door. False alarm, turns out it was just my cat Mia, who's just running in and out like a nutter. Yeah, so let's get back to it. The managers are speaking about a few things. They go, Reece James could be long-term protection in terms of just keeping him out of the games where he has slight complaints. I'm happy. He's not got a hamstring. He's out for the season. We've got Malo Gusto, who's awesome. We've got other players who can play. So it's fine. It's fine. Just make sure he's ready when he comes back in. You know, we brought him in for the big games. And it looks like we can hopefully navigate Leicester away without Captain Reece James. A question was posed to the Chelsea manager, of course it being his ex-club, Leicester. He was a very, very meticulous coach there, won the championship, of course. Do you have an advantage, Enzo Maresca, because you know the players? He said, not really. Actually, he feels it's the other way around. And I thought sort of deep to that at the moment. Like, yeah, he knows a lot of the players, but they've got a new manager and a new way of playing. Whereas all those players know how Enzo Maresca likes to play. And that's what he was saying. He was saying, if anything, I think it's the other way around, that they've got an edge. And he even went on to say that they're considering changing a few things tactically to to make it a little bit more of a surprise for this opposition. And then he said something that I found very interesting. This is right up my street, mate. So he was asked about, I can't remember exactly, like fullbacks rotating and being important players for him in this system. Of course, they invert into central defensive midfield, but lately inverting into almost attacking midfield into those offensive 8/10 positions. So yes, they've been very, very important. And the Chelsea manager, Enzo Maresca, said that actually in the future, so something they're targeting to do, what they want to do moving forwards, is moving centre-backs out of position and not necessarily the fullbacks. So which the obvious like thing where everyone's brain goes to here, well, for me anyway, for maybe a bit more nerdy people like me, is John Stones at Man City. So stepping into the midfield and of course then creating a back three, and then you have that 3-2-4-1 formation, and then I guess you it's slightly different because those four players along, everyone kind of thinks, oh, so Bernardo Silva and Jeremy Doku are playing as like de facto wing backs almost. And it's kind of like it's a similar thing where you have four attacking players behind the striker, but instead of having a fullback converting into midfield, you have a centre-back. And he says this is something we'd like to do in the future, but not right now. Very, very interesting. So it kind of made me think that Maresca wants to join the ranks of Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta of late, of having four centre-backs along the back line rather than these fullbacks. And actually, you create a back three, and a centre-back moves into the midfield, and you've got a lot of height and strength, which, of course, you need in the Premier League. And that's something, tiki-taka Guardiola's leaned on massively. He just wants big bully boys. And, of course, Arteta's done that to great success. Certainly defensively of late. They've been an amazing defensive team the last two seasons, Arsenal, under Arteta, with this four centre-back system and one often stepping into midfield. But that's not the main comment that's going to get people's juices flowing. The next one is, yes, I forgot the journalist's name. Forgive me. The lady that was posing this question to him. She's excellent. Actually, I should have reminded myself of her name because she's asked some brilliant questions of late. About Joao Felix. Now, of course, Felix has had He took his chance on the international break when he started and scored a lovely goal. It was very much a Portuguese B team, and maybe he suffered for that. But he demonstrated his quality and, of course, had frustrating limited minutes up to that. And the question was posed to him. You said before, Enzo, that you will be looking to try and find a way to get Cole Palmer and Joao Felix on the pitch together. So, yeah, when we talk about this Pep Guardiola 3-2-4-1 and indeed Maresca's 3-2-4-1, getting it in different ways, rather maybe a centre-back steps forward or a full-back inverts, and then you have a four attackers behind a striker. Of course, when you see Guardiola's Man City do it, it is the two attackers behind, say, Haaland might be like De Bruyne and Foden, and then you've got like a Bernardo Silva and Doku. Like, we're talking about four attackers. We're not talking about an Enzo Fernandez in there, or a Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, or even like what we've been doing lately. We've been doing it with the fullback, so Gusto making one of those players in the four behind the striker, or indeed Cucurella has done it lately as well, being one of those attackers behind the striker. No, we're talking about four fully fledged attacking midfielders. So it could be Nico Jackson, Pedro Neto on the right, with Cole Palmer next to him, with Joao Felix next to him, with Jadon Sancho next to him. That attacking five players is insane. It's super attacking. And if that's the target, that's pretty darn incredible. Of course, attacking with five, defending with five is nothing new. This is something that of course, Tuchel did with a block five and then wing backs attacking. But even before that, we won the league with Antonio Conte doing it. But, that still included the likes of Victor Moses and Marcus Alonso, which are wing backs that would get back and defend in that attacking block five. Now, this is just like straight up FIFA vibes, get all the Galacticos in there. Do you know what I mean? But look, I'm very, 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 very excited about the prospect of seeing Joao Felix and Cole Palmer on the pitch together. Even if it's you could play Felix left wing. He's still listed as a left wing on the foot builder, which we're going to use in a moment. And actually, we're running behind already, so I'm going to do that in a moment. Still, that was a headline for me because he said it before. He reiterated it like target for the future, and that's if that doesn't get your juices flowing. Lots of people loving Nkunku. I do too, but we're talking about creating attacking midfielders here to help a striker or runners from the wings or something. I mean, and he said it before. He sees them as the same profile-ish in terms of role in his starting 11. Palmer's not available. He's going to play Joao Felix at the moment, but to play together is great. He was also asked about CDMs. He says, yes, the first choices at the moment are Caicedo, Lavia, and Enzo. But yes, you can use the likes of Vega and Cassidy in that same role, although both of them played, I think, 180 minutes each on the international break. Cassidy for the under-21s for Italy, playing very well. And Vega just suddenly like an important player for Portugal out of nowhere. His career flying, mate. I mean, he must have a little bit more like say when I reckon come the halfway mark of this season, I think Renato Vega's transfer value would have tripled at Chelsea. We got him for 11 million quid. He's being utilised a lot in the Premier League as well. He's being in different positions all over Chelsea. Top 4 team at the moment. Hopefully we stay there, touch wood. Loads of different positions. He's being trusted. Multilingual leader, tall, strong. Suddenly, a really, really relied on centre-back for Portugal, who's got a crazy roster. So he's got to be 30 million before the season, at least. At least! Cool. So let's talk about the game. We are playing a game of football against Leicester. Let's have a look here. They did get slapped before the international break away at Ruud van Nistelrooy's revitalised Manchester United. Of course, he's done one now, Ruud. Yeah, not a good game for Leicester. They did have half the ball. They had more shots on target. More shots on target than United. United, 3 shots on target, 3 goals. One was an own goal, though. God, they will feel gutted with that. More shots on target. To be fair, like looking at the passes, everything else is pretty even, but they might feel aggrieved to have a 3-0 loss here. I don't think I watched this game. I think I just saw a 3-0 United win at home against Leicester and thought... I didn't even think I've watched Match of the Day goals. Okay, so 4-3-3. James Justin, excellent player. I swear he used to play left back to replace Ben Chilwell. These are good players. These are internationals, guys. Winks was really great in the Championship. Still in DD, Jordan, no, it's not that great. It's not that... Look, Cooper's a good coach, man. But that really, come on. I mean, Connor Cody's okay. Hamza Chowdhury's top boy. Skip's okay. So, I mean, look, away from home, we've got to be winning that regardless. So how are we going to do it? Well, let's build a lineup, shall we? 4-2-3-1, really. This is the closest formation we can get on Footbin to build. Can we get Enzo Maresca? Is he in there? Enzo Maresca. Where is he, bro? Hold on. What? Why has he got all this hair? Look at all this hair. What an absolute confuse. All right, have some hair, G. I had to pay lots of money to get my hair back. Right, sadly, I'm going to be positive. Rob Sanchez is going to be in goal. And he's going to do really, really well. Levi Colwill didn't go onto the international break and should be rested as a trusted starter for Enzo Maresca. Similarly, Wesley Fofana, I think he's a similar situation. So look, we can almost certainly see this. It's going to be Malo Gusto, right? Malo Gusto. Come on, Jan. Malo Gusto right back in the absence of Reece James, who we know definitely won't be featuring, so it has to be Gusto. Left back, it's going to be Cucurella, isn't it? Like, it's going to be Cucurella. There's going to be no conversations or discussions or arguments about that. Now, Cole Palmer will 100% play as another player who hasn't featured throughout the international break and is very, very important for Chelsea. Who else? Nico Jackson. Nico Jackson will start as the Chelsea striker up front. Now, we're going to delve into some uncertainties after an international break here. I know we spoke about him in this morning's video. If you're yet to watch it, go watch it. But I'm going to select Jadon Sancho. I want to see it, bro. Also, we're going to be playing against Leicester. I mean, they had a lot of shots against United and they had half the ball. So they might not just be low block and counter, which means we might need speed, which means we might play Pedro Neto on the left. But I want to see Sancho. He's a good player. He can really, really affect us positively. And Leicester is, you know, as even if they statistically did all right against Man United, they're a quality of opposition that we should be thinking, right, it's an opportunity for certain players here to do some to offer some productivity. Okay, so let's do CDMs. Caicedo, congratulations, by the way, to Moy. He's just had a little baby, which is lovely for him. I know he's always relied on more than Enzo Fernandez after international breaks, and that we're just going to need him, aren't we? This is super tough, bro. It could be... Lavia apparently he was sent back from Belgium duty with a slight muscle complaint. So he's been knocking around, and I think with that, Maresca would have said, like a Reece James, no, he's not playing. If he isn't injured, he's not playing. He says we've got some players to identify, see them train, who've come back from international break. That's not Lavia. Lavia was sent back a while ago. So I am going to go for the current first choice double pivot in Lavia and Caicedo. And it could definitely be Noni Madueke, but Neto is the one for me. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a naughty lineup. And a lot of people, including myself, maybe switching Reece James for Gusto, would say, as things stand, I think this is what the votes were, apart from James for Gusto, on the Instagram poll I did. That's the strongest Chelsea lineup at the moment. In another situation, you maybe drop Lavia for Joao Felix, and you invert Cucurella to join Caicedo, and that's that 4-1-4-1. Is that even like... I don't know even if it's an available formation. It's a 3-2-4-1 in possession. I don't think you can actually do that. I don't think you can get that 3-1-4-2. No, so you can't do it. It's the other way around. You get a 3-4-2-1, but it's actually a 3-2-4-1 we want. So they don't even offer it to you. Annoyingly. Yeah, shame we can't do that. Boom. So that's it. That's my lineup. Oh, just a little transition for you there. Do you agree? How do you feel? I feel like that is the strong lineup, and that's what we should go with. And really, it's what's going to be essentially, is how Maresca sets us up. He's going to have to go with something maybe a little bit tactically intelligent. He said in his pre-match presser that he'll have to tweak something, so I wonder what he'll do. Be very interesting to learn what he'll go there. I am going to go for a win. I don't think we're necessarily going to get a 3-0 win like Man United got. It looked like maybe they didn't deserve that from the stats in isolation, that maybe they didn't deserve that scoreline. It's an away game. It's got the narrative behind it. I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea win. So Leicester 1, Chelsea 2, 3 points. And goals scored from Neto, who scored in the international break, and Sancho. And both assisted by Cole Palmer. Actually, no, one assisted by Cole Palmer, one assisted by Nico Jackson. 4 goal involvements there. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts down below. Comment. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. And come back soon. All right? Cool. Peace.